This video is continuing interpreting graphs. So this is part of section 1.8. We're going to fold this foldable this way. And then fold it this way. And I'm going to write right here, 1.8, continue. Interpreting graphs. So what we looked at last time is that those were specific values. Now we're trying to see in general what's happening. The graph represents the speed of a bus as it travels to school. So here's the bus and it starts right here. And we're looking at speed. So this is at a stop. But I'm going to put number 1 because that's where we're going to start. Number 2 looks like it's increasing speed. Then number 3 looks like it's at a constant speed. It didn't stop because look at the speed. It's somewhere up here. Even if it's going 30 miles per hour or 60 miles per hour, it's maintaining its speed. And then over here for what is it doing? It looks like it's decreasing speed. And then right here is what happens at the end. We're going to open this one up and we're going to put its information over here. The independent variable is always the x. The dependent variable is always the y. For this scenario, time was on the x-axis. So I'm going to flip it over and show you that it was on the x and it says time. So that is our independent variable. Our dependent variable was speed. And as you could tell, the speed was on the y-axis. And that's how we know that it's the independent variable. All right, so first it started from a stop. The bus started from a stop. So that was our number 1. And then number 2, the bus increased its speed. Number 3 was the bus stayed at a constant speed. I'm going to put a little arrow just so you know it went a little down. On number 4, the bus started slowing down until it stopped. It's important to indicate the end behavior as well, the start and all the maximums and minimums of the graph. All right, the next one, it says the graph represents the height of a baseball after it is hit. So this is the point that it was hit. Why would it start at a certain height? Well, in baseball, we hit the ball like at chest height. It wouldn't be on the ground. Well, maybe if it was Miss Hernandez, it'd be right here. But a regular height would be some up here. So it looks like the ball went a little bit up. So let's start with this one as being number 1. Number 2. Then after a certain height, it started going down. And then this point is very important as well. Did somebody catch the ball? It hit the ground, and so that's important to note as well. Our x-axis is time, and our y-axis is height. So that means that our independent variable is always x, which in this case it is time. Our dependent variable is always y, which in this case, it is height. So remember, we're talking about a ball, so the ball was hit at a certain height. So we don't really know how high it was, but it started up off the ground. The ball goes up until it reaches its maximum. After it reaches its maximum, the ball goes down until it hits, the ground. Remember to pause the video if I go too fast for you, to fill in all the information until you're ready to move on. The next one, it says the graph represents a balance of a savings account. So we got time on the X, the account balance, and this is our starting point. So did the account start with zero money in it? No, it had some money in it. We weren't sure how much. But then what does this little section indicate? Did it increase just a little bit? And then what does this one indicate? There's zero money in there? No, it means that the account balance stayed the same. Then right here, it increased just a little bit. And then what happened? It looks like they started using it all until they ran out. Remember, it is also very important to indicate what happens at the end. Since our X variable was time as well, it is our independent variable. Our dependent variable is the Y value, which is account balance. And what we're talking about is the account balance. So the account starts with a certain amount. Number 2, the account increased. We're not sure how much it increased, but we could assume that it increased a little bit. So you can say the account increased by a little. We can say that the account increased by a little amount, but we're just going to say increase because we're not sure about the increments. Right here is that it stayed the same. So the account balance remained the same. For a while, we're not sure about the time increments too. We could make up some figures. Then it increased a little bit. It looks like a little bit more than the first time. The account increased so we're not sure how much it increased, but it looks like it increased more than that second little interval. And then we started spending the money. The account balance decreased until there was nothing left. We could also say until the account balance was zero, until there was nothing in the account. There's a lot of ways to say the same expression. All right, and then our last one. The graph represents the price of stocks over time. We have time on the X and price on the Y. So that means that our independent variable, which is the X, is time again in this one. It doesn't always have to be time. And the dependent variable is price, because that's our Y value. We got 1, which is our starting, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So the price started at a certain amount. We don't know how much. It increased. The price increased. So it depends on what you think is good or bad. If it's already a stock that you have, the price increasing is better for you. If it's a stock that you want to purchase, then that's not good for you that the price increased. The price increased, and then it went down. The price decreased. What makes these more interesting is if you came up with values or a situation. So for example, if this is something that you have, then you would be upset that the price went down of your stock. And then on number 4, it increased again. The price increased again. Then decreased. We don't know if it had decreased until it reached 0, if it continued to be going up and down, so we have to leave it where the graph leaves it.